Guys, today it's raining and I'm lazy. So I'm going to make a video, but I'm not sitting outside and I'm not getting wet and I don't feel like wasting fuel because I'm a cheap Jew. So we're going to sit inside the car. By the way, this is kind of related to the video. Got a new sticker. It says shift happens. It has a 5-speed pattern. Very hard to find one with a 5-speed pattern. Lots of them have a 6. And of course the car's a 5-speed. So this fit perfectly. So yeah, there's that. Also, if you notice, the car is cleaner because I waxed it. So we get in here automatically, you notice you dodge seat covers because it's a Chrysler. So yeah guys, I've kind of turned to the dark side. And I'm a racer. So yeah, I guess that's how we'll start this like video, vlog, whatever you want to call it off. Kind of like a Ryan Upchurch video, I just sit and talk in the vehicle. But, you know, of course I got the white band on the steering wheel. Come down here, I got a boost gauge made with white duct tape because they did make a turbo version of this car. I don't have the turbo. And now, this is more related to the video. What is this right down here? Correct answer is a stick shifter or some kind of car penis. I drew like a little winky face on the top. The camera really doesn't pick it up. And it's kind of faded already, but it also came with a green one. So every now and then I just change it up. And down here, I have not one, not two, 3 pedals. And the e-brake is here. That means that this car has a manual transmission, which means I could speak on the topic of why you should daily a manual transmission. Now, if you've never driven a manual, there's some stigma as to like, let me move the camera better, as to like how it can be hard or whatever. And when you are learning, it is more difficult, yes, but once you get used to it, it's really fun. And you know, for like track driving and stuff, it adds to the excitement, although newer automatics are faster. But here is why you should just daily drive commute with a manual transmission. Number one, in the case of most older cars, it saves gas. Like this PT Cruiser here, there's like a 1 mile per gallon difference. And it actually goes to the automatic. But driving the way I do, I get better mileage than most people with automatics do. Because, you know, of course, his EPA readings are wrong. I mean, I hear some people with the automatics only get like 20 some miles per gallon for a daily commute. I wind up getting like 25, 25 and a half. And I'm somewhat lead-footed. I bet if I sped in the slow zone so I could be in like 4th gear or just like barely keeping in the gear, and, you know, I didn't hard accelerate at all, I didn't pass people, I could probably see damn near 30. But I drive the way I do. You know, the roads are the way they are. I go through some towns and, of course, the state forest that are boring 25. So I get 25 miles per gallon. But nowadays, as a matter of fact, it's actually less fuel efficient, but it's a very small difference. Fuel efficiency really isn't the main reason people drive a manual. Number 2. Now this is a lot more of a valid reason, especially today. Most people cannot drive a manual transmission vehicle, right? So someone goes to steal it, there's a good chance, unless they're a professional car thief, they could drive anything, they know what the hell they're doing, they're stealing your car. But your average boondock thief or whatever, especially in the city where manuals are less common, they break into your car, right? Your glass is broken, whatever, but you still have the car. They go to hotwire. Okay, they start it, because let's say it's in neutral, or they find out how to put it in neutral, they start the car. Then they go into gear, they stall. They got hot-wired again. They keep stalling. They'll either quit or draw lots of attention and get caught. So it is somewhat of a theft device. I'm saying you still should lock your cars because, I mean, they can steal your radio and whatnot. But the chances of your car getting stolen by an amateur thief are a lot lower with a manual transmission. And number 3, it makes just boring acceleration and deceleration in like entering turns fun because you're doing something. You're not just putting it in D for dipshit and go. You're not just plodding along. Oh, speed limit went up to 45. Okay, push your foot in more. No, you're changing gears. You got that mechanical connection with the car going. And of course, slowing down, you could do like an awesome rev match or whatever, and it just like adds excitement to an otherwise boring commute. And the next one, what are we on for? It's kind of a safety reason. On long back road drives, not interstate. People stay driving manual transmission keeps you awake on the interstate because you're shifting. Bullshit. When you're on the interstate, you are in one gear. It's no different than an automatic. I'm tired of people saying that. It's like, no, you're in one gear. You're not doing shifting. You can still fall asleep at the wheel. But, however, on backcountry roads, when you're shifting between turns and stuff, you're not just changing speed for turns and uphills. You also have to change gears, and that keeps you more awake. So, the myth of driving stick keeps you awake is true in some cases, but not on long highway or interstate trips because you're not shifting. And next, it's kind of impressive. You know, it's like a chip on your shoulder that you do something extremely hard and rigorous, like driving a manual. I mean, let's wrap for a second. Alright, here we have the stick right there, right? You change gear with it. So instead of, most people drive one-handed on the wheel, like you should anyway. It doesn't take two hands. You have one hand here. Instead of this hand texting or playing with your dick, it's just on here moving this stick. Instead of this foot sitting here doing nothing, it just kind of pushes in a pedal. Just does that every once in a while. So it's not like it's exceptionally hard. And once you get used to it, starting out on hills isn't that much of a chore. It is a chore, don't get me wrong, it is. And especially in traffic, it can be a bitch having to do it every 2 seconds. But people treat it like, oh my god, you could drive stick. But in reality, I mean, just normal stick driving, it's not like it's some extraordinary skill. It just takes some practice, like anything. I mean, my grandma for the longest time drove stick. She's not the best driver, but she can drive stick. Now, like, to get perfect rev matches and stuff, obviously, it takes a good bit of skill and whatnot, but for just normal commuting, that kind of driving, it's not that hard. And what are we on? 6? It impresses the lady folk. Depending on the lady. Some women, you know, think you're some kind of just gearhead. They're not in the cars. But like you, let's say you're talking to like a proper car girl. The fact that you could drive stick, it's like, oh yeah, I could do that too. And it gives you like something. They don't like look down on you. It's, you know, doing something that, you know, they can do it, but you can't do it. It might feel like you're kind of handicapped or whatever, and girls that can't drive stick, like, kind of want to learn, you know, whatever. Now, it's not like, oh, I drive a stick and the ladies swim around. No, of course it's not. Just like driving even a Ferrari. Sure, we might swim around and get a couple pictures, but, yeah. It's kind of a plus of driving a manual, but it's really not effective or anything. Like, you could say, oh, I drive stick because it impresses the ladies. Because you do that, you're just wasting your time and your money. Now, and newer cars, only applies to newer cars because of the little thing called depreciation and, you know, modifications and options you bought don't mean shit 10 years down the road. But for a brand new car, you get a manual transmission, you could have saved yourself up to like $1,000. Some cars, it's only a $200 option for the auto. But in most cases, automatic transmission, because if there's a car that comes in a manual, I guarantee that's a standard base transmission. I'm not saying it's bad, but that's a standard base. The automatic's a step up. So that's a few $100s you're saving right there. Now you're making payments on the car, obviously. It's going to be so spread out over time. It doesn't really make a big difference. But if you're buying the car outright with cash, which, let's face it, only some of us can do, then there's like a grand lump sum you saved right there and then. Also, when you commute with a manual transmission, there's just, you know, a sense of you're having fun. Everybody else is just dragging their ass to work on a commute. If you're sitting there banging the gears and whatever, every time you pass someone, you're rev matching, coming to the stop signs, you just have this extra bit of fun. It's like, you know, some kind of like free time in school. Other kids have to sit there and read books, and you're the kid with the iPad. You just have like this extra little bit of enjoyment everybody else around you doesn't get. And they may not even understand it. I mean, especially nowadays, people just don't understand why you'd want to drive a manual. But I mean, it's not a bad idea for an everyday commuter car. Also, newer automatic transmissions, they are annoying, and I hate them. I hate them, hate them, hate them. And we're not talking about a Porsche PDK or an SMG in a BMW M car. We're not talking about it. We're talking about everyday cars. Here, I don't know if you guys can see. Oh, that's right, my mom took it to work. But my mom has a 2016 Hyundai Tucson with the 7-speed dual clutch. You know how much I hate that transmission? Words cannot even describe. For example, yesterday I was driving it. You push the pedal hard down, you gotta wait like a second and a half for it to kick down gears. It's slow upshifting in the manual mode and the automatic mode. Sometimes it feels like it's slipping the gear a little bit. And it could roll back on hills. I mean, my 1990 F-150, it could kick down faster when you put your foot in it, and doesn't roll back or anything like that. It's just a better transmission. And having so many gears in these newer transmissions, 6, 7, sometimes 8 speeds, in just normal sedans, you realize when those electronically controlled, Fast and Furious gearboxes, I say that because, just have so many damn gears. Like old automatics started out with 3 gears. 3 was direct. Then they started adding overdrive. And then 6-speed automatics came out, but now we're getting 8 and 9-speed stuff, and sometimes 10 that Ford and Chevy developed. It's fine and dandy and fuel efficient when it's working, whatever. But when shit starts to wear out and break, you have any idea how much it's going to cost to service? You buy a manual transmission here, you don't abuse it too much. I mean, it's simple. Stick right there, changes your gears for you. You got a clutch. A clutch in this car is like $200 some, whatever. And hopefully you could probably get almost like 100,000, maybe more, depending on how you drive or how many hills you're around on that. Every now and then, change your transmission oil, and that's it. And every now and then, one of these things breaks, but it's a simple just jet rig 5-speed. Just don't abuse it, and they'll last a while. And these are tried and true, right? But the newer 10 speeds, you break one of them, you could have a $5,000 repair bill. Whereas, you burn out the clutch in this, you could do it yourself for a couple $100, take it to a shop, and have it done for under $1,000. And if you know how to drive this well, and you're not banging the gears constantly, you'll get, 6-figure miles out of a clutch. So, it's just simple to service, simple to use, whatever. And also, it kind of gives you a taste to personalize your car. Newer automatics having their push buttons and stuff, you really can't customize the stick or do anything with it because, there's wires and stuff in there. But meanwhile here, look, I got a pink shift knob cover. If I wanted to, I could pull the shift knob off, screw on a new one. It doesn't affect shit. It's a stick with something on top for my hand to go around, and preferably helping someone know gear they're in based on the position. Because as a pattern, once you know the pattern, you don't even need that. And I put duct tape of shift patterns. I have these. I could personalize this part of the car, no problem. But whereas with automatic, you really don't have that. By the way, also, you could save a shit ton of fuel if you're coming up to, if you're starting to roll downhill or whatever, and it comes into a lower speed zone starting up the next hill, you can just pop the car in neutral. It'll idle. And then when you're at your speed, you just, change down into a gear. You can do stuff like that. Your battery dies in a manual transmission car, you could push start it. It says not to an owner's manual, but come on. Push comes to shove, you can't get someone to jump it. You could push start your car. Automatic, you can't. You're stranded. It just makes it a whole lot better for that reason. And I don't do burnouts in this car. Let's say your commute, you commute to work, you're pissed off leaving work, you feel like ripping a huge burnout, and you don't have any mechanical sympathy. You want to do a burnout on an automatic 4-cylinder car, you just put your foot in it, maybe pull the e-brake, whatever. But it's a 4-cylinder, doesn't have enough torque to really break them loose. Look what we got here. Clutch, right? You could apply your e-brake or have your hand ready, just go in first or second, clutch in, take it almost a red line, and just drop the clutch, and then, let it sit there and spin for a while. Maybe hold it here at the e-brake and just gas it. And like if you're in first or second, you want to go up a gear, you just quick shift. You do a huge badass burnout just by doing that. Just using the clutch, you could take it to peak power and then suddenly engage. There's an automatic, you don't have that option. Now that really isn't for commuting purposes, but it is just a thing, After a hard, boring day of work, you feel like doing a huge ass burnout, you can just rip one like that. And again, here's just something, a long hard day of work, going through the gears or whatever, it's something you don't get in an automatic.